Welcome back. We're putting supercars to the test in this week's Driven 100, but first, can a British car from a tiny company in the Midlands really take on the might of Ferrari and Porsche?
The problem with the British sports car industry is our perception that the cars just don't cut the mustard when compared with the best the Germans and the Italians can offer.
But things have changed, and this is one of the many protagonists. It's the Nobel M12, made by Lee Noble, a low-volume British manufacturer. You may not have heard of the M12, but it's an astonishing machine.
But don't take my word for it.
Meet Jeremy, late 30s affluent entrepreneur, and his brother-in-law Colin, who's made it big in the media. These two boys have got it all. Flash homes, lots of toys, and two of the finest pieces of motoring exotica money can buy.
I've got a passion for cars, and clearly the Porsche offers everything. What's important to me about my car is just the sense of occasion and just experience a fantastic machine.
If Noble are serious about shifting 200 of these things each year, they have to win over people like Jeremy and Colin.
It's nice, isn't it? I quite like it.
What I like most at the moment is the fact that the steering is razor sharp. Yeah. I mean, it's through these cobble streets. I'm sitting pretty comfortably. Good leg room for me. I'm 6'2". Yeah. There's no rattles, no shakes, well bolted together. Now we've got to be careful here not to lose the front of the car.
Oh, I thought we were going to front off then.
If you want to look good, this has certainly got the pose factor. You don't want to be noticed.
It's not the car.
Not a good car.
No. 45 grand, do you think that's a lot of money?
I think it's a lot of money for a car like this. I think as a second car for track days, for fun, 20 out of 10. As your only car, you're going to have to be a real enthusiast.
Yeah, yeah. That's good, doesn't it?
Sounds like they had a bad cutlery than I before.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, this car keeps farting.
A positive response up to now, but any true test of a performance motor has to be done on the track. So how will Colin and Jeremy get on, considering the Noble has got no anti-lock brakes, no traction control, in fact no fancy electronics whatsoever?
You don't want to brake into corners in a car like this. Before you brake in first, get to know it for a couple of laps and see what you think.
Steering's very positive. Good control, flows nicely. Man and machine in harmony.
Power?
Power fabulous.
Just pop into third. And then wait till we're on the exit. And give you some thoughts and tell me what you think.
Beautiful.
Good, isn't it?
Beautiful.
How do you think it compares with your 9 lamp?
On a road like this, I'd say it's far better. Superb grip. It feels quite flat as you roll into the corners.
No, it's not much roll, is there?
Hardly any roll at all. There's only the issue of practicality.
Yeah.
But if you want a exciting car, well built, handles like a dream, and the right side of 50,000, unbelievable. If I had a track like this in my garden, then it would certainly be a car to have. I could stay here all day.
Colin and Jeremy have enjoyed a thorough test drive, but are they convinced? Does the Noble have what it takes for them to buy one?
I wouldn't swap the 550.
But you'd have one then?
I'd have one.
Good stuff. How about you, Jeremy?
Great to drive, superb on the track, good poise, nice balance of steering, the handling, the chassis, the power, effortless. In town it was superb fun. It's a great racing car for the road. But it would have to be a second car after I buy the racing track.
Oh, you want the track first?
Track's got to come first, then the car.
Great stuff. Well, there you go. These guys love the Noble, but only as a second car.
There's just time to enter our Lotus competition. Call 090 1303 1303 and predict the winner of this week's group test. Calls cost 50 pence. Now, back to the Driven 100.
For our test of desirability, what better place to bring our free cars than to the home of the people who make the ultimate supercar, the Jordan Grand Prix team. If anyone knows what they like and what they don't like, it should be this lot. Right, our first car is a TVR. Come and have a look. Now, what we want is first impressions.
It screams power.
It screams power.
It's just got an aggressive front end. Says, get out my way, let me pass.
Ladies,
It's just got real character. It's funky. It's just something really different.
Like the chrome.
Like the chrome in the
Yeah.
alley?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Quite spacious.
It's sort of kit car style, but you know, it's the good parts about having a kit car.
Yeah. It seems to be a bit of a thumbs up moment, yes, for the TVR. So that's enough of this one. Let's move on to the Porsche and tell us what you think of that.
Right, now this is massively high-tech. The best Porsche can build at the minute.
It is more of a boy racer car, I think, than the TVR.
This has got such a heritage. When we look at a Porsche, we just know there's 20 years of something special there.
I've got to say, this does nothing for me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't like it either.
Don't you? What?
No, I understand completely about the heritage and the history, and that's fine, but this is about desirability. I don't think it's got enough.
A lot more comfortable than TVR. Classier.
It's a lot more fussy than the TVR, isn't it? Looks-wise. Very black.
Yeah, it is black.
Needs a bit of cheerfulness in here.
Shall we move on to the Ferrari?
Yes. Ferrari, 360 Modena. Isn't this badge, isn't this what it's all about?
To me, this is more a show car. It's look, I've got some money, I've got a nice car.
Just the whole look of the inside looks really cheap. If you'd taken the badge off and asked me how much the car would have cost, I wouldn't even have come in at a quarter of the cost of the car.
Wow.
It's the most desirable mark in the world. That's what I think, you know, ever since I was a kid. I'm gobsmacked that people are standing around here shaking their heads and saying no.
It's still desirable to me, but that might be because of my age. Because I'm probably quite a bit older than a lot of these guys in here.
Would you pay £100 for these little knobs, though? These little switches?
It's a Ferrari. It's got a horse on it.
Right, the people of Jordan Grand Prix have had a look around our free cars, but it's time for them to vote for the car they most desire. Right, you lot, stand by the car you most want. Right, Pen, how many you got?
Amazingly, I've only got 2 for the Ferrari.
Jace, how many for you?
Well, I've got a pretty reasonable 6.
You've got 6, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9. So that's clear. The TVR is the car that this lot most desire. Now, these cars are massively desirable.
Whatever gave you that idea, mate?
Look at them. I mean, they are just evocative. They tug at the heartstrings. These people love them.
I want one.
I'd have all 3 if I could.
But how surprising is the result? 2 people stood by the Ferrari. They may be slightly biased, but 2 people.
I think it all comes down to the amount of money that's left in your pocket. That's what it comes down to. They can see that you can go and buy that TVR at 48 grand and go and bin a lot more money on the hip. Let's score them. The Ferrari is so amazingly desirable. Easily 22 points.
And the Porsche, you've got 6 people.
Yeah. See, I think that's the most desirable car ever made.
I'd choose it.
Right, but it's desirable. It's 22. It is the same as the Ferrari. It's 22. But we have to go with the people with the TVR.
They loved it. They absolutely
Point more? 23?
23.
Done.
So if you can call 48 grand a bargain, then the TVR is the car for you. And if you want to look flash for a little less cash, here's my tip.
To think of an alternative to this week's Driven 100 supercars was a bit of a challenge. I had to think of something that packed around the same amount of firepower, was reliable, but also affordable. And I think I found one, the Honda NSX. The NSX was introduced into the UK in 1991 and its chassis was tweaked by the legendary Ayrton Senna, and that's why people say they handle so sweetly. But what type of a car do you get for your money? Well, there's an urban myth that says you can pick one of these babies up for around 20 grand, but I've never seen one for that money. No, you're more likely to find one in the mid-90s for around 37 grand, and for that you get a 3.2 litre engine pushing out 277 brake horsepower. In 1992, power steering and an automatic gearbox became an option, but in my opinion, you want to look for the 6-speed stick-shift. Don't be put off by a sea of black plastic and leather. It's all very durable and it should last a lifetime. And make sure you get your car inspected. You don't want to buy one that's seen the wrong side of a hedge once or twice in its lifetime. Now, being a Honda, they're probably the most reliable supercar money can buy, but there are problems. Don't forget to check the rear tyres. Every 6,000 miles, this baby will munch through a set. And these rear wheels, they look cool, but believe you me, if they're chipped and curved like this one, they cost a small fortune. The Honda NSX really is an affordable supercar that you can use every day. But where are you going to find one? Well, at a designated Honda dealer like this. You may pay a bit more money for it in the first place, but I guarantee you'll get a cracking car.
For other hot motors and the biggest selection of used car classifieds, log on to 4car.co.uk.
So you've gone without booze, foreign holidays and life's little luxuries to scrape together enough dough to buy the car of your dreams. Think that's the last you'll be shelling out? You better think again.
These cars aren't going to be cheap to run. Petrol and insurance is going to set you back a small fortune. But how much will a replacement tyre cost, say, on that Porsche, or a new windscreen for this TVR? Well, that'll set you back £216 and 43 pence. This tasty little door mirror, 188 quid. And this whole front body section has set you back 4,024 quid.
Knock one of these off, it's going to cost you 622 quid. A new windscreen, a snip at £831. And if you smack one of these headlamp units, it's going to cost you 805 quid.
A new windscreen in the Porsche is £278. Oh, this sounds like a bargain. Smash one of these and it'll only set you back 875 quid. Too many wheel spins in a Porky and a rear tyre has set you back 360 quid. Life in the fast lane ain't cheap.
Running costs on these cars are pretty academic, really. The Ferrari's whopping cost per mile of £2.56 means we can only give it 3 points. The Porsche isn't much better at just over £2 a mile, 5 points. So the TVR becomes a bit of a bargain, costing only £1.18 to run, a generous 9.
These are amazing cars, but lack of practicality and high running costs bring down the scores, so a lowly 57 for a Ferrari. The Porsche is a beautiful drive and a little more practical, 65 points. But out ahead, it's the raw power of the TVR, this week's winner with 66. So there you have it. You can have supercar status for a lot less money. We'll see you next week.
Next week on Driven, can the new BMW 3 Series keep its crown against our favourite, the Audi A4, and Jaguar's baby, the X-Type? And the latest Jeep Cherokee. Will this piece of Americana prove as popular as its predecessor?